Panama Keshle ma Cathair Allen Gáithangach imel na Gaeltachtas mósa tír ach Cathair atá ag dailál le feibanna olmhóra san áireamh géir céim tithiíochta, géir céim tranglam tráchta, agus na feibanna sin imóthúram ag ascairt díreach as policy an na chóirla charach agus policy an rialtas. Tá muid take go dtí am na cinúna agus an ceist a chur agus freigra ag tastal cá bhfuil ar dríal mar Cathair I goex na dúlgis atá oran faoi ahrú éráide. As you will have grasped, Minister, my question relates to Galway City, a beautiful natural beauty, I might add, bilingual city, gateway to the biggest Gaeltacht in the country, a city that's struggling with serious problems, choking with traffic, and a serious housing crisis. And I raised this today, as I've raised before, with no replies. I have repeatedly brought it to each government's attention since 2016 that there are solutions to this problem. I sat on a local council for 17 years and despaired at all of the solutions going down one road, metaphorically and literally. And here we are, 2005, we put in Park and Ride into the development plan, has not been rolled out. The city, because of its crisis in housing, a task force was set up in 2019. Not a single report or analysis as to the cause of that. A report from the Land Development Agency, 2/3 of the land identified by the Land Development Agency in Galway is in category 3 with significant problems, part of it in Merlin Park Hospital, which will be never used for housing. Recently, a conference was held in the city, Reimagining the Irish City, hosted by the Royal Institute of Architects of Ireland and the Academy of Urbanism and Galway City Council. Significantly, and I praised the conference, but significantly, it wasn't an inclusive conference. The tickets, I understand, cost a couple of €100 to attend that in St. Nicholas Church, when it should have been in a city council building led by the city council, but there is a complete absence of vision, a complete absence of leadership. And I say, Minister, before you come back to me and tell me this is a local authority issue, this is an issue for the government in relation to our climate obligations and building a sustainable city. My preference would be public transport with light rail, but there are many solutions. We had a 2016 transport strategy that was outdated at the time and is still not updated. So I present this as someone who's very proud of my city. In Gaelga agus I Merla, ach tá gá le réichi atá inwarana.
Gaillimhe, Minister.
Well, I want to thank Deputy Connolly for raising these issues, and I think everybody appreciates in this House the beauty and benefit and importance of Galway as a city, not just to the northwest region and the west region, but indeed a city of strategic importance to our country as well. I do think some of the issues, quite frankly, are related to the local authority, and there's no getting away from that, but I accept that not all. Of course, local authorities do receive very significant funding and do need to, obviously, and I'm not casting any aspersion on any local authority, but do need to obviously set out their own priorities in terms of housing schemes, in terms of their county development plans, in terms of their drawing down of government funding, which has probably been at a level never seen before. I certainly see my own role as a public representative the opportunity for local authorities now to draw down and access funding across such a wide range of government schemes to improve your city, improve your county, is probably at an unparalleled and unprecedented level. I'm also very conscious that Galway is a place that we're continuing to see job investment in, and we saw it again in very recent days, people deciding that they want to invest in Galway, and I will get to the transport issue in a moment, but also in my own ministerial brief, I recognise the significant investment that we've seen in relation to education in Galway. We now have, not only do we have the University of Galway, but we've seen the opening of the Atlantic Technological University, major developments and plans underway there, including expansion at what was the old rugby club site as well, and plans for a college of further education. So government hasn't been found wanting when it comes to investment in Galway, and the investment that has led to significant job creation. I do accept, though, and indeed I know from talking to my own colleagues from Galway, I do accept that there are real issues when it comes to transport and when it comes to mobility and accessibility around Galway. These are concerns we share, the concerns that I'll certainly take back to Minister Ryan. Without wading into what I know was a very heated view about the ring road and the likes, that was something that was struck down, obviously, by Bord Pleanála, and there had been probably a lot of energy put behind that project. We'd absolutely share the view that you do need a park and ride facility as well, and I understand there's also bus connect plans as well. So I'm very happy to pass on your views to the Minister for Transport in relation to that issue around public transport, the accessibility and the likes. But I'd also suggest that the City Council should reflect on your comments too, because I'm proud to be in a government that is providing unparalleled levels of investment to local authorities and unparalleled opportunities for local authorities to draw down and to apply for funding from a whole range of different schemes, including in the public transport area.
Connolly.
First of all, a correction. Bord Pleanála did not say no to the ring road. The High Court said no to the ring road. Why? Because Bord Pleanála acknowledged that they failed utterly to consider climate change and our climate change obligations. That tells you something about Bord Pleanála, and also tells you something about the management that submitted that plan in relation to it. In relation to Galway City, in that conference that I mentioned, the chief planner with huge experience from Freiburg described Galway as like a mouthful of broken teeth. He also said that there was very little sign of urgency in relation to our obligations to meet climate change with the way development was taking place in Galway. We have any amount of possibilities. It's the tipping point. It's time to make transformative decisions. Part of that is the housing crisis, to sort it out by building public housing as a major part of the solution. Not one single public house was built in Galway in 2002. There is no master plan for the city. We have the docks doing its own thing. No master plan. Neilane Ward plan. The docks doing its own thing. Kent Station doing its own thing. Sandy Road doing its own thing, and no overall planning that brings together a comprehensive, transformative to make Galway a green city. We have employment, we have beauty, we're choking it with lack of direction from the management and particularly from the government that's not saying you've got to comply with your obligations under climate change.
Of course they have to comply with their obligations under climate change, and indeed even discussions at Cabinet yesterday and announcements by Minister Ryan and Minister Smith make it very clear that it can no longer be about government, be it national or local, telling other people that climate change requires them to change, that actually there's a very significant programme of change that every public body, including local authorities, need to undertake. So to be very clear on that, the legal requirement and Ireland Inc., of which your City Council and County Council are a part of, is absolutely apparent. Mea culpa on the High Court piece. Of course, you're entirely correct in relation to that. I am aware that the LDA does have significant development plans for Galway, and from a government point of view we have capitalised the Land Development Agency in a very meaningful way. The Land Development Agency is not short in any manner or means of the ability now to get on with delivering projects, and I also know across healthcare an issue that has been a major issue of concern in Galway for many years. My colleague Minister Donnelly moving ahead with an elective hospital, which will significantly, I believe, help the people of Galway. I take your point though and your view in relation to the need for a master plan. I do suggest it's for the local authority to come up with the vision and then to work with government to try and fund and implement that.